WAVU AM 630. W298BG FM 107.5 Albertville. You've found the power. Power 107.5 FM. It's time for the Albertville Aggie Coach Bert Browne Show. Every Tuesday night at 6, you can tune in to Power 107.5 with Aggie announcers Barry Galloway, John Gladden, and Keith Ball, live at Local Joes in Albertville. For the next hour, Aggie head coach Bert Browne will be joined by Aggie coaches and Albertville players, and we'll talk Aggie football. Now let's go live to Local Joes in Albertville here on Power 107.5.
And welcome to Local Joes. We should be, having the national anthem coming up in just a second. But first, welcome, joining us. So we're going to be ending just a few minutes early tonight. Give everybody who would like to a chance to watch the debate if you so choose. We may debate up here tonight. I don't know. We may have our own debate to see what's going on.
Go home and watch paint dry.
But good to have Coach Browne with us. We got some special guests joining us in a few minutes. Join us every Tuesday right here at 6 for the Coach Bert Browne Show here at Local Joe's in downtown Albertville. Come by for the best barbecue you'll find anywhere. John Gladden, Keith Ball with us. Coach, good to see you with us again. It's been, I guess, weather-wise, decent weather for practice this week.
It has. It's supposed to come a gully washer Thursday, and hopefully it'll be out of here by Friday.
Yeah, that was my question. Now, it looks like it should be going Friday.
Yeah.
One forecast was saying Saturday will still be around, but I don't think that's going to happen now. They've changed the forecast. But
right.
What would have happened had it rained all day Thursday and Friday?
I don't know. They got turf, so
no matter. As long as there's no lightning.
As long as it's not lightning, yeah.
Oh,
so we'll see.
Let's get into the game from last week. I keep waiting for the anthem. Was a little bit late. I don't want to be interrupted by the anthem.
I understand.
But anyway, let's get into last week's game. Talking about the beginning of the game, Florence fumbled first snap of the game. Put yourself in a great spot, but you couldn't take advantage of it.
Well, that's what I talked about last week, and I talked to the kids about. We got to get some turnovers for us to be successful and be able to win. We got to get some turnovers, and we got to capitalize. And we didn't capitalize. First play of the game, we get a turnover, and you're thinking, okay, here we go. And we weren't able to capitalize on that. And those are the things that you got to do if you want to be successful. When the other team turns the ball over, you need to make them pay for it. And we just didn't do it.
How big a factor was the Florence defense? A heck of a defense play into that.
I mean, very, very good defense. They got guys that run around. They got fast guys. They got big guys. They harassed our quarterbacks all night. So it's just one of them deals. They had a heck of a defense.
Coach, when you look at that game, one thing I thought it was a very, very positive first quarter. I mean, the end of the first quarter, only down 10-0, and one that I can remember. I don't have my sheet in front of me. One sustained drive. Other than that, defense did pretty good. Only down 10-0. And when you look at that, talk about how exciting or excited, I guess, is past tense. Excited you were, and the kids on the sidelines, and just kind of the heartbeat of the kids at that moment at the end of the first quarter.
Well, it was very positive, and like I say, I mean, when we get those turnovers, we need to make something happen, and we were close, and we're just having problems scoring. We have plays there, but we're just not executing those plays, and look, we've got kids out there right now that, in all fairness to them, shouldn't have to be out there. They should be playing JV football. And but because we have 8 seniors, that's not ideal at any level. I mean, there's Class A schools with 14 and 15, so but next year, I think we'll have 26, 27 seniors. 30-some juniors and 30-some sophomores, and hopefully 50 freshmen, because we have 50 8th graders right now. So,
yeah, that's great numbers, Coach. That middle school program, getting over there where your wife is, it used to be called Evans AIS now. That's the lifeblood, man, because that's where everybody starts to get them and pull them in different directions.
That's right.
You got to recruit that. Going back to what John was talking about, that first drive, they fumble. And we move it down there a little bit. We throw the interception on the 2-yard line. I'm thinking, okay, we come around with a jump shot right here and get 2 points and then get the ball back. We got all the momentum in the world.
Yeah, that's what I told Derek. I said, send the house right here, see if we can get a safety. And they popped us for about a 6-yard gain, I think, there. And that's the thing. We got a good group of kids that's battling their tails off, and we're just overmatched right now because of our lack of depth and size. Colton Battles had surgery on his knee Friday, tore his ACL. He started as a sophomore at guard for us last year, and he's a junior and doing real good, and blows his knee at practice in a non-contact drill, really, and just a freaky thing. And you got our fastest guy, Cooper Scott, breaks his collarbone in a non-contact drill. We've got kids out there that we're asking to do things that, in all fairness to them, they shouldn't have to be doing that right now. They should be playing JV every Monday night and doing that kind of thing. But they're growing up fast, and like I told them at halftime, I said, here's what you can do. I said, and this is the great thing about football. Football teaches you more than any sport there is, because you're getting hit hard in football. You're feeling like you don't want to get up. And in life, you're going to get hit hard in the mouth. There's going to be bad things happen to you. I tell the kids this all the time. That's what I told them at halftime. I said, you got two choices right now. I said, first of all, I love your fight. I love how hard you're playing. I love your competitiveness. Are we overmatched right now? Yes. They're not stupid. They know that, okay? But I said, you can either roll over and quit, or you can go out there and fight your tail off and play for pride and, have fun playing the game. That's what I tell them all the time. Go out, and I told them in the second half, I said, go out there and have fun. Enjoy it. You practice. That's what you play football for, and get to the games to enjoy those things. And I was proud of our effort and the way we worked hard. They hit us on 3 big screens. They returned a punt because we were lazy on our coverage. We weren't sprinting down there, which I don't understand in some spots. You're 16, you're young. You can go. And so we gave up a punt return because we were selfish. Mm-hmm. We were being selfish and not thinking about anybody but ourselves. And so we do that some, and that's what young kids sometimes do. When you don't have a bunch of seniors, you lack leadership, and you lack some guys saying, hey, I'm going to hold you accountable. You're not going to jog down there. You're going to get your butt down there.
Yep. Coach, you talk about those young guys, and obviously CJ's going to go your quarterback. No matter, you played quarterback. I never played. My roommate did. But one of those things, when you look at it, the offense revolves around the signal caller, right? Yeah. He's got the command in the huddle. And once again, this was an 8th grader that is still a 9th grader, even though we've called his name. But one of the questions that I had some other people ask me through the week, and I told them, I said, I would be glad to ask you this question. And I think that you're trying to get other people in the game. But if there was a moment where CJ just wasn't having a CJ time, right. Back quarterback. You made that change. You brought in Parker Gibson, and you allowed Parker to have some reps. Yeah. Talk about the mindset with you and Coach Crutcher about just trying to get those folks in the
CJ
game.
Was frustrated, and I understand. Yep. I've said this. My first start was the 3rd game my sophomore year. I was scared to death, and I was a 6'1" future Division I quarterback. I was scared to death. CJ's a freshman with sophomores and freshmen blocking for him in spots, and he's getting heat, and he kind of lost his cool a little bit, which I understand, but he dropped that snap and fumbled it, and then he got sacked, and he was mad coming off the field at the O-line, and I told him, I said, you can't blame them. You dropped the snap. Well, I'm not getting any time. I said, I understand that, but you can't blame them for you dropping the snap. And so we brought in Parker to just sometimes you need to be able to settle down and just watch and learn. And it's tough on a young kid. We're asking him to do something he shouldn't have to be doing right now. And but the things that have happened here in the years past, a few years past, have led us to this. And we're trying to, reverse all that. And, out in the hallways recruiting. I spent a lot of time at the junior high last year in the lunchroom, saying to Mr. Phillips, I need to not be in lunch duty today. I need to be over at the junior high. I need to go to the 5th and 6th grade, talk to them, because that's what you need to do as a head football coach here. You need to get out and talk to people and kids, and I need to be out in the community talking to community leaders about donations and things like that too. And so, but we're going to get this thing going. If it buries me, I'm going to get it going. I can tell you that. And it's a tough job. I mean, it weighs on you. Just, losing is when you're a very competitive person. I try not to lose my cool sometimes. Sometimes I do get mad, and I don't sleep much. Sometimes I just get up about 3:30 or 4 and go to the office because I can't sleep. I'm thinking about things, and I'm an early riser anyway.
Yeah.
And so I just figure, what the crap? I'm not going to lay here at 3:30 in the morning thinking. I'm just going to get up and go to work. So.
Coach, we'll take a quick time out. Got some special guests joining us. We'll be back in just a moment. Come out and join us. It's the Coach Bert Browne Show every Tuesday here at Local Joe's in downtown Albertville. Come back next year on Power 107.5.
It's football time in Alabama. The players are hitting the field, the cheerleaders are firing up the crowd, the drum majors striking up the band, and we all stand for the national anthem. This is Congressman Robert Adderholt. While you cheer your favorite team this season, I'll be on President Trump's team shaking things up in Washington. When we stand on conservative principles, it's a win for everyone. I'm Robert Adderholt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Adderholt for Congress.
Albertville Discount Pharmacy has been providing prescription and healthcare needs to the Sand Mountain area for over 30 years. With 3 pharmacists, Amy Honey, Brett Hogan, and Eddie Campbell, you will feel the confidence their staff provides. They want to be your pharmacy. Phone 256-878-1515 or come by Albertville Discount Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy at 422 North Broad Street in Albertville.
This week at Foodland Plus in Albertville, Prairie Fresh bone-in assorted pork chops, $1.99 a pound. Preferred Angus beef New York strip steaks, family pack, $7.99 a pound. Cooked shrimp, 16 ounce, peeled and deveined, $7.99 each. California grown red or white seedless grapes, $1.99 a pound. Rotel tomatoes, 10 ounce, 3 for $4. Banquet Mega Bowls, 13 to 14 ounce, 2 for $6. Pure Life Water, 24 pack, 16.9 ounce bottles, 3 for $10 at Foodland Plus in Albertville.
Attention North Alabama, Drew Epperson here with Sand Mountain Toyota. Are you in the market for a new ride? Look no further than Sand Mountain Toyota, where excellence meets affordability. From sleek sedans to powerful trucks and SUVs, each Toyota is a 5-star favorite, and even our pre-owned inventory is guaranteed to exceed your expectations. Come see me or give me a call at 256-878-0789 and say you want to drive with Drew, where customer satisfaction drives me.
Welcome back to Local Joe's here in downtown Albertville, the Coach Bert Browne Show. And there's some guests joining us coming up in just a moment. Coach is go ahead, Coach. Coach is placing his order here. I think we're going to bring in one of our special guests now. Let's see, we have enough room here. He brought his own fan club, John.
That's right.
Yeah, I like that when this happens. So I was going to ask Coach, we'll ask him about one of these. We're going to mention that Keegan Thompson and Peyton Jones, I thought, had great games on Friday night. Showed much improvement. What do you guys think?
We called their names a lot, for sure. It seemed like that, we talked about how Keegan had one of those games. Sometimes you have games. Listen, I've played a bunch of them. Sometimes you have those games you forget, and then you have a bounce-back game, and we saw that with Keegan Thompson. And then, once again, Peyton Jones always doing what Peyton Jones did, always got a nose for the football and is always where he needs to be most of the time. And if he can just get those big old ugly offensive linemen out of the way, he can get there a little bit quicker. But Peyton Jones joins us tonight. Peyton, glad to have you, buddy. The man, a few words.
You're good. Hey, man, I tell you what, it's been fun to watch you the last couple of years. You're very physical. Do you like the defensive side of the ball better than the offensive side of the ball?
Oh yeah, I don't even play offense. I just like hitting people on defense.
I got you. Did you have any offense? Did you do any offense last year, or just strictly defense? Okay,
strictly defense.
Yeah. So, and you're playing some linebacker this year, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and you're an inside linebacker.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and you've got I'm blanking on his name. 26, right beside you most of the time.
Jesse Gonzalez.
You got him beside you. When you're starting a play out, what are you looking at when the ball snap let's say it's going to be a run play. What are you looking at right there in the middle?
Watching the guards.
Watching the guards.
Pass or run first.
I got you. So if guard pulls out and he goes, you're reading that guard and you're getting downhill with him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I tell you what, you're a lot of fun to watch because you're a very physical kid, and you can tell you really like that contact.
Yes, sir.
Peyton, probably the biggest offensive line that you've seen all season long. Hate to tell you that, looming out there on Friday, right? So as a linebacker, one thing that I noticed from some of their other, especially the last game against Austin and then their game against, I believe it was Spain Park, that they utilized their speed to kind of offset that large offensive line. Have y'all talked about this week on defense about utilizing the speed to kind of beat the punch of where those big offensive linemen are trying to go?
Yeah, we're pretty much trying to outspeed the offensive linemen by getting through their hands before they can get their hands on us. Just trying to avoid the block, really. Do our best on that.
Yeah,
they got some big old guards, though.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you can outrun them, then you can make plays there. Yeah, when you're like John's talking about this week, you got some big guards going to be over there. And if you can out leverage those guys and you can read where they're going, the biggest thing, I tell a lot of guys, and when I was coaching defense is that inside linebacker. It's not just about being physical. You've got to really know what's going on, and you've got to use your eyes to read what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Is that something that you've learned over the last couple of years?
Yeah, especially last year. Really, I really used my brain, really, because I'm not as big and fast as everybody else. I'm just smarter, really, I'd like to say.
Yeah. Well, that's so important for an inside linebacker. I mean, you've got to, two things is you're kind of the quarterback on the defense a lot of times. You've got to know what's going on. And if you can read what's going on and then go be physical at the point of attack, you can be a pretty good linebacker and not be really fast.
Yes, sir.
Go back from last year to this year, Peyton. Coach Browne really hits on the weight room during the off season. Can you see a big change in you from last season to this season?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I gained around 20, 25 pounds over the off season. It's really the main reason I got moved to linebacker. And you can definitely see I'm a lot stronger now.
Give you a little more confidence now that you're bigger, faster, stronger?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what about the this week? Have you had a chance to watch much film on the team coming up? Or do you even get a chance to watch film?
I've been mainly watching the game film from this past week to see what I can do better on. I haven't really watched much on Sparkman yet.
What do you want to improve on for yourself? What do you want to do better this week?
Getting off the blocks, really. Reading it faster and getting off blocks, make it either at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage.
I thought you had a great game last week. I know that it was a tough game, of course, but we called your name, Keegan Thompson, out a lot. You were in a lot of tackles last week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There's actually a lot of improvement.
Yes, sir.
And so you're a junior, right?
Yes, sir.
So we were talking about it earlier. Y'all's junior class is a really, really big class.
Yes, sir.
And potentially could have 26, 27 seniors next year. It's going to be very important for you guys, to accept that leadership role as seniors and develop a bond there where y'all can help lead the team, because I know coming from a head coaching spot, and Coach will agree with this, that senior-led teams just work so much better than if coaches having to tell you everything. So that's something to really think about now as a junior moving into next year, you and your guys that are juniors this year, to take on that role. And you would be surprised at how much those younger guys will follow you as a senior and as a leader.
Yes, sir.
We always ask this. What about you? College football? Do you watch a lot of college football on the weekends?
Yeah, I'd say I watch a little bit of it on Saturdays.
So who do you like to watch?
Alabama.
Alabama, okay. Any Bama players that you like to watch, linebacker-wise? You got Lawson. You got some good ones over there.
I'm just watching the whole field, really, if I'm being honest.
Okay, what about the NFL then? You got a player that
I really like Bobby Wagner. I've always liked him. I've been a Seahawks fan pretty much my whole life.
Okay. Other question is music. What about music? What do you listen to?
Country music.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. He can stay here then. We'll feed you to that. Yeah. Anybody in particular you like?
I really like Chris Stapleton, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I like that. Say, well, good. Anything else, Chris?
Well, I do have a question. So I know this guy sitting over my shoulder back here. I coached him in baseball a long time ago. Is he now that you're getting a little bigger and stronger? You think you can take him now, or is he?
Oh yeah,
You think you can take him?
definitely.
All right.
He says no.
Big brother's still shaking his head.
Yeah.
So I coached Gavin in baseball a couple of years ago, and he was a really good baseball player, and he's a pretty good kid too. But I remember you guys when y'all were really young, y'all would come up to 5-Star. Somebody'd have a birthday party up there, and I was working up there at the time, and we'd have to. Y'all get after it pretty good. Y'all get at each other pretty good, and y'all are very competitive. So a lot of fun to be around you guys.
Well, Peyton, we appreciate what you do and you staying with it. Keep it up.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, Peyton. We'll pass this over here to Coach and let you get a chance to. We talked about Peyton a lot during Friday's game. We mentioned Keegan Thompson. They were the ones that kind of stood out for us. What about you?
Yeah. Well, Peyton had an excellent game. Peyton is one of those guys, he doesn't say a lot. He's a quiet kid. And you can look at him and look at the bulk that he's put on, the hard work that he did in the off season, and he's a smart kid, but he gives you everything he's got, and he reads his keys, and he really had a real good game, and he's getting better, and he is part of that junior class that I'm talking about that's really going to help us in the future, and we. That's what I told them the other day. That's what I was talking to the juniors about the other day. I said, you guys are playing right now and practicing right now, not only for this year, but for your senior year to make it a great year.
That's got to be what you're looking for, like his improvement. If each player can improve half of what he's doing, then that's what you're shooting for, right?
Exactly. And we've got a bunch of kids in that junior class that are going to get bigger and stronger next year. He's going to get bigger and stronger. So, the future's bright there.
Well, the facilities we were talking about, what Albertville offers, I would say there's no school within hundreds of miles offering anything what you offer.
No, and in our academics,
right?
We have a lot of different things that a lot of schools in our area don't offer, and so we've got the total package here, and we're going to get this thing going and get it where it's going right. And here in a few minutes, I want to talk about our junior high kids and that kind of deal, but. We got a lot of things going, I think, for us. And if people look at that and see, well, my kids can take a lot of different academic classes, and there's a lot of other things that they can do. In our facilities, nobody's got what we've got.
No, I agree. I agree. I kind of like being a member of a group of stewards that kind of looks over all of that. And when I drive around the campus, it just amazes me that you got – the indoor practice facility, Vernon Wells Stadium now named for Coach Vernon Wells. And then you look at our academics. And then on top of that, you've got a fine art center that's second to none. You've got a band hall second to none. Now we have AIA, which is allowing kids. And I tell everybody that AIA is one of those things where you can be a white collar, blue collar, and no collar, but when you come out of there, you're going to be able to find some really solid employment.
That's right.
And that's
right.
And that's and like you said, you're going to get this thing turned around. There's no doubt in my mind. Been there, been on a coaching staff too. Coached it, went 1-29. So before you got things turned around, so understand it. Let's get back to this week's game if you don't care. So one thing that I noticed and was going to ask Peyton about it. But didn't want to give any kind of game secrets away.
Yeah.
But one thing that I noticed, got a left-handed quarterback this week, right? And with that left-handed quarterback, it seemed as if the other team's defenses started dialing up blitzes to what would be his left, forcing him to roll right, which means he's having to kind of crank his shoulders back differently. Anything that it may be in the defensive playbook that if he's going to roll, we want him to roll out to the right?
Well, definitely. He's their backup. Their starter blew his knee in the first game.
Right.
And he's more of a runner. So we're going to have to do some things defensively. We've been playing a lot of press man and things like that. And probably won't do as much press man because you don't want your back turned to him and let him run. So there's some things I think we got in the game plan that'll help us out there. And hopefully we can capitalize on some of that stuff.
I'll tell you what also noticed is on every pass that he's thrown, right? And I went through literally breaking down all the games. not only, like you said, he likes to run before he likes to throw, but even when he throws, it seems like anything beyond 20 yards isn't that accurate.
I hope not.
No, well,
I hope he doesn't. I hope he. Hey, I wish the kid nothing but the best, but I hope he's 0 for 40.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, Coach, is with it being where he's not that accurate, at least you can kind of maybe keep everything in front of you over 20 yards from the secondary.
Right,
so
right, yeah.
nothing where he's able to throw it 50 yards downfield. I like our chances against, in terms of a defensive scheme, once again, keeping everything in front of you.
Right.
It's one of those weeks, I guess. I'm not saying you don't have to worry about the passing game, but it's going to be the run game that's going to kind of dominate.
Definitely not what we faced the last 3 weeks in the passing game.
Right.
Those guys were
L.A.,
Eli,
all those. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you may have a wet field, too, to deal with. So, that'll hopefully take the ball out of there a little bit for them, which will take the ball out of the air for us, too. So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take a quick break, Coach, and come back with more. It's the Coach Bert Browne Show every Tuesday right here, Local Joes in downtown Albertville. Coming up, we'll be right back here on Power 107.5.
It's football time in Alabama. The players are hitting the field, the cheerleaders are firing up the crowd, the drum majors striking up the band, and we all stand for the national anthem. This is Congressman Robert Adderholt. While you cheer your favorite team this season, I'll be on President Trump's team, shaking things up in Washington. When we stand on conservative principles, it's a win for everyone. I'm Robert Adderholt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Adderholt for Congress.
Hi, I'm Randy Jones, your hometown trusted choice insurance agency. Randy Jones and Associates knows the playing field, and we have been proudly serving communities across North Alabama for 46 years. Having the right protection on the field is important. The RJA team of experienced agents will help you find affordable, customized insurance coverage for your family, business, and future. Stop by a local Randy Jones Associates office for a free, no-obligation quote or complimentary policy review.
Attention football fans, this season don't let slow internet make you miss a single touchdown, tackle, or triumph. With our gigabit fiber internet, you get blazing fast speeds that keep you in the game. Stream every play in crystal clear HD. Blitz through online stats and video chat with fellow fans, all with zero lag. Don't fumble your connection. Score big with our unbeatable fiber service. Call FTC and get your gigabit fiber internet just in time for the big game. Stay connected, stay ahead, stay unstoppable. Visit farmerstel.com or call us at 866-638-2144. FTC, we keep you connected.
Attention North Alabama, Drew Epperson here with Sand Mountain Toyota. Are you in the market for a new ride? Look no further than Sand Mountain Toyota, where excellence meets affordability. From sleek sedans to powerful trucks and SUVs, each Toyota is a 5-star favorite, and even our pre-owned inventory is guaranteed to exceed your expectations. Come see me or give me a call at 256-878-0789 and say you want to drive with Drew, where customer satisfaction drives me.
And welcome back to Local Joes in downtown Albertville, the Coach Bert Browne Show. And if we want to find out more information about Coach, I think now's a good time to ask. What do you think, John?
I think we're fixing to delve into the deep, dark secrets of Coach Browne. He just don't know it because he's eating barbecue right now. So, hey, we got two coaches, believe it or not, two Coach Browns, right? You got Coach Browne over the football team.
Right.
And then we got Mama Coach Browne, who's over AIS. Miss Browne, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How is everything? Because this is your first year over AIS, so tell me, what AIS is all about right now. A lot of exciting things happening over in your neck of the woods.
There are more things I can keep up with, I feel like, most days. But no, last year I was the assistant principal at AIS. Got lucky enough to stay and move up to head principal this year. I tell Stephen Hudgens all the time, I just say, I look at him and say, bless you, because you think you know. And as an assistant principal, what you're going into, and then you become principal, right. And then it's quite a different game. But it's great, and I love it, and I love being there. And I say all the time, like, we really do have the best kids. And this is somebody coming from a different state, from different schools, different levels. And, you always are going to kids are going to be kids, but I enjoy going to work every day. I enjoy loving on my students. I mean, that's my happy of the day, so.
Well, y'all, you've got a lot of cool things going on over there. I know they're like, you start a school year off over there, and you're picking the houses, and you're doing you may have to explain a little bit of that, and they build points for their different houses, and do some stuff like that.
We are knee deep in it right now. So kids have applied to be on house council. So we have 4 houses that each have a different representation. It is not Harry Potter. I will clear that up. A lot of people think that. It's more about building good character traits, leadership, friendship, that type of thing. And so if they want to be on house council, we pick 20 from 5th grade, 20 from 6th grade. Their teachers have a score sheet that they score them on different areas, academics, attendance, behavior, things like that. And then if they make a certain score, they come to the administrative team, and then we do one-on-one interviews with them. So it's been fun to watch them come in and see their personalities, because I think we've interviewed at least 100 kids over the last 2 days.
Is that Ron Clark?
Well, yes, it is based on the Ron Clark Academy.
Because I was certified. I was Ron Clark certified at one time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had to go over to Atlanta and do the whole thing. So I got to go down the slide. I don't know if you've ever been over there.
I haven't. I never got to go, but a lot of teachers that I worked with did. I don't, I'm not standing on tables all the time, but I can do that if need be.
I was in the room with him. He does do that. So I did have one more thing before John goes back and may talk to you a little bit about some different things, but you've got one of mine over there. How many times have you had to paddle her so far?
She's awesome. She really is. She's got that mischievous grin, though. She always looks like she's up to something, but she's not.
From her daddy.
And she does look like her daddy.
She is absolutely she's never met a stranger, and I'm worried about her just talking way too much in class.
Hey, we were having a serious conversation outside in the hallway today with her and a group of girls about who was the most iconic female from the past. So there was a lot of debate. You'll have to ask her about.
Okay, I'll do that.
Let me ask you about the school system. Being from a different state, what do you think attracts you to this school system, and would attract others if they bring their children to this school system?
Well, the opportunities, the diversity. And, I've never worked in a school system where at each building, besides the high school, there's only 2 grade levels. And there are some drawbacks to that. But for me, I see all the positives in it, because you can really focus on that age group. You can tailor your activities, your instruction to just that age group of kids, instead of, when you're working at a K-4 school, you're kind of running the gamut on everything that you have going in the building. With 5th and 6th graders, to me, which if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I'd have said, there's no way I want to be a principal at a 5-6 school. And the longer I've done it, I was in Tennessee at a 5-8 school, and now I'm here, and 5th and 6th grade is where it's at, or at least I believe that.
You got, I was going to say real quick, you got Coach Davis over there with you.
Yes.
And I tell you what, Coach Davis is one of my favorite people. I hired him. He's he coached with me when he was really, really young. I mean, first on the scene. And he is a super duper guy. He's so nice, and I worry about him being too nice over there doing discipline. So you'll have to check him a little bit.
Well, listen, I do give him a hard time. I was talking to him yesterday, giving him a hard time about his interview and how nervous he was in the interview, and just giving him down the road, because you got to laugh in our line of work. Or sometimes you'll cry, and he is a great. I'm a, get things done kind of gal, and I want to be out with the kids and be in the classrooms. But he is that level of, he'll throw in a joke here and there that just kind of in a serious moment when you need it to just bring it back to like, okay, we can do this. It's going to be all right. But he, as a human being, as a person, morals wise, he is a fantastic guy, and he's a great culture guy too.
Yep. A few moments ago, you were talking about academics over at AIS, right? And obviously, schools get graded and all of this stuff. Just putting all of that on the back burner. Talk to me about the teachers you have, your staff, the academics, and holding that bar at a certain level to hold the standards of the kids that high. Just because everybody coming out of COVID. The bar kind of got moved around a little bit, but what you're doing at the helm at AIS with your staff, to where if the bar had to get lowered a little bit for COVID, we're fixing to put that bar back up there, and just the stressing that you are doing in academics.
Right. Well, I think it started last year, and you got to build relationships. They had to get to know us. They had to get to know me. They had to see that I actually knew what I was talking about. And so this year, our main focus when we started the year is we've got to row in the same direction. If we're all rowing in the same direction, we're going to get there. And we set goals as a school. We set goals in every subject area, and the biggest thing is we're monitoring them, but also, and this is kind of a cool side story I have to tell, but during our interviews, something I asked my teachers to do this year, I said, nobody has morning car bus duty anymore, and they always had before. I said, nobody has it. I want you to stand at your classroom door in the hallway and talk to the teachers around you. It's good for your kids to see those relationships and you laugh and talk, but I want you to greet every student when they walk in your room.
Cool.
And several of the kids in their interviews have spoke to that. So I feel like the academics come along when kids know you love them, you care about them, and who doesn't want to first thing when you walk in a building? You know, I stand outside every day in the car line and greet them, and all of that to me, it all speaks to the academics down the road because they want to please you still at this age. So when you have that relationship and everybody's building those relationships, that makes a difference. And you know what? My teachers, I feel like they're on board. Like they know that our kids can do it, and they know that we've had to raise the bar and that I'm going to continue to push them. But I think they're wanting to push themselves, which is even more important.
Right.
Well, let me say this, not because Coach Browne is sitting next to you, but seriously, I've known a lot of coaches' wives, and they hear a lot from the public, from the town, whether it's good or bad. But I will say, I mean, we admire Coach Browne for what he does because we know what he's up against. We know what him and the coaching staff are up against. We talk about it on their way home from games. I mean, they're faced with a tough situation. A lot of young players, and they're keeping the players motivated, trying their best to get something positive going, and they are. I can see him turning it around, but I know it's got to be tough for him, and it's probably going to be tough for you.
Absolutely.
But we admire him for what he's doing and the coaching staff, and we appreciate him.
Absolutely. And one thing I will say is there's so many people in the community that when they speak to me are so encouraging. I mean, they really are. We see what coach is doing. We see what his staff is doing. We see the boys improving.
Right.
And it just it's not showing on the scoreboard and, not for any pity by any means, but it's hard to be a coach's wife and sit in the stands. So I just want to clarify, if anybody doesn't ever see me in the stands, I'm watching, but, I want to focus in and try and keep the positivity going.
They may not take the W's with them when they leave, but we're hoping they're going to take other lessons, which are really more important about, you had a tough battle, but you never gave up.
Yeah. And what I'm enjoying, too, and I hope that we get to stay for many years to come, is I already see my kids that I had last year moved into middle school, and I'm building the relationships with, a lot of the players. And, I just look forward to continuing that with them and then seeing the kids that I had in, as a principal move up.
Right.
And I see the athletes in our school. I see the athletes that move to the middle school. And at the high school already, they're coming. We just keep preaching to them the same thing. Yes, we got to stick together. We keep playing. It'll get there. Get there.
We appreciate you. Anything else?
And with him coaching or you being the leader over at a school, and you nailed it. It's all about relationships and building those relationships and having those kids come up to you a couple of years down the road and say, "Man, I love being over at your school. It was so much fun. I learned so much, and I love this teacher, and y'all did such a great job." So that's and Coach, hopefully y'all retire here in 20 years and he see somebody at a restaurant and they say, "Coach, I know, we didn't win a whole lot of ball games, but man, we learned how to work and it transitioned, into life and I'm a good daddy now and I'm a good husband and I'm working my tail off and working a job." So
absolutely the biggest blessing for me over the past 17 years that I've been in education is not any monetary anything that I made, but it's those Facebook messages or those kids that reach out to you and say, "I remember when you did this," or "Thank you for caring about me." All that, sometimes you don't see it for years down the road, but man, when you do, even one comment makes it worth it.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you being here, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And your dinner is waiting on you.
Even better.
We'll take a quick break and go back with a few more comments about this week's game. It's the Coach Bert Browne Show here on Power 107.5.
Albertville Discount Pharmacy has been providing prescription and healthcare needs to the Sand Mountain area for over 30 years. With 3 pharmacists, Amy Honey, Brett Hogan, and Eddie Campbell, you will feel the confidence their staff provides. They want to be your pharmacy. Phone 256-878-1515 or come by Albertville Discount Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy at 422 North Broad Street in Albertville.
This week at Foodland Plus in Albertville, Prairie Fresh bone-in assorted pork chops, $1.99 a pound. Preferred Angus beef New York strip steaks, family pack, $7.99 a pound. Cooked shrimp, 16 ounce, peeled and deveined, $7.99 each. California grown red or white seedless grapes, $1.99 a pound. Rotel tomatoes, 10 ounce, 3 for $4. Banquet Mega Bowls, 13 to 14 ounce, 2 for $6. Pure Life Water, 24 pack, 16.9 ounce bottles, 3 for $10 at Foodland Plus in Albertville.
Attention football fans, this season don't let slow internet make you miss a single touchdown, tackle, or triumph. With our gigabit fiber internet, you get blazing fast speeds that keep you in the game. Stream every play in crystal clear HD. Blitz through online stats and video chat with fellow fans, all with zero lag. Don't fumble your connection, score big with our unbeatable fiber service. Call FTC and get your gigabit fiber internet just in time for the big game. Stay connected, stay ahead, stay unstoppable. Visit farmerstel.com or call us at 866-638-2144. FTC, we keep you connected.
Hi, I'm Randy Jones, your hometown trusted choice insurance agency. Randy Jones and Associates knows the playing field, and we have been proudly serving communities across North Alabama for 46 years. Having the right protection on the field is important. The RJA team of experienced agents will help you find affordable, customized insurance coverage for your family, business, and future. Stop by a local Randy Jones Associates office for a free, no-obligation quote or complimentary policy review.
And Local Joes in downtown Albertville, the Coach Bert Browne Show. Going to be wrapping up just a few minutes early. Let's talk Aggie football. Let's talk younger Aggie football, Coach.
Well, you know, I just talking about our 7th and 8th grade bunch. You know, we've got a good bunch down there. I talked to them today. 7th graders went to Rainbow City last night, played against a bunch of 8th graders, I think, and it showed. I mean, because we got a lot of kids out there that haven't played before, and it's a learning curve. But, you know, we've got, just to mention a few of those kids, Memphis Allensworth is going to be a big old boy, a good one. Jace Cleveland, Bishop Fawkes is a kid that plays for us. Cody Johnson is a new wide receiver. He's going to be good in time. And got the Marr brothers. They're going to be good offensive line and defensive line guys. And Miller Deason. Big Miller's going to be a heck of a player. We just have so many. Tucker Sims is just a great kid. He's very coachable. He's got a lot of talent. And I could just talk about a bunch of those 7th graders, but you know, Kane Klontz is an 8th grader that's a tight end defensive end that's a pretty good dang player. And then Gable Cruz, he's our little quarterback down there that is a heck of an athlete and can run it and throw it and, you know, does a lot of good things. Bentley Cooper is a good one. And Fisher Sweat, he had a great game the other night.
That's Brant's little brother, isn't
Yeah, Cam Taylor. And then Jacob Davis is a big old offensive lineman. And then we got Braylon Harrison, who's an extremely physical wide receiver in DB. And I could just go down a list of guys that I think are going to really Zayd Gerald is going to be a big old offensive lineman for us. And we've got 3 quarterbacks down there, Gage Kelly, Griffin Johnson, and Gable Cruz that are pretty good football players. They're all 8th graders, and but most of those guys can do a lot. And Moses Juarez is kicker, and I'm going to tell you what now, he can boom it for an 8th grader. And so we've got a bunch of kids down at that level that, you know, we need to keep them here. And I know there's some people out there trying to get them. And, you know, I'll just say this. We got the best facility around. Mm-hmm. You know, I've said this, and I tell the kids, you know, we didn't win a game last year, and we had half of our senior class signed to play college football. And that's because, you know, I know people in the college game. Coach Karcher knows people in the college game. You know, we know a lot of people. If you want to play college football, this is going to be the place for you because we're going to get this thing going, and we're going to start winning. And that's what I tell those guys. We've got to keep all those kids together. And I could sit here and talk about the 7th and 8th grade football team and different names on there. That's just a few off the top of my head that I'm talking about that, you know, we're going to get this thing going. And where else around here you going to get to go in an indoor tomorrow or Thursday when it's pouring the rain and thundering and lightning? Nobody's got our
it doesn't exist.
No. And then our education, like I talked about before. So we've got it going on. But it's going to happen.
Hey, Coach, you talked about – hello, there I am. Sorry, Barry. Coach, you talked about the youth of the team, and obviously this week Correct me if I'm wrong when I go back and I look at the at least the possible starting offensive linemen. 4 of your 5 offensive linemen, this is their actual first time to start in varsity games or at the varsity level, with the exception of Christian Ramirez. Yeah. What do you do as a coach, with those young guys and Coach Nelson and the other offensive linemen?
Taylor Slifka.
Coach Slifka. When you sit around, you got these, and I love the quotes you said, those young puppies. Yeah. So you got those young puppies out there, and they're going to go up against a defensive front that's pretty solid against Sparkman. Yeah. How do you coach to those young guys? Just, give us a little bit of time. Give us one little crease. Yeah. How do you coach to that this week?
Well, they're against so many big, fast, strong kids. And we're trying to get an edge with maybe doing a little less in the run game, maybe making it a little easier on them.
Right.
So, it's just one of those deals where, we got some kids like today. We got after it, and Coach Nelson got mad, and our kids picked it up a little bit, and and so, sometimes the big guys, they need somebody to help them start it up.
Old Babyface got mad.
He got mad.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, from that being my old position and coaching that position, you're never going to get your name in the newspaper unless it's bad. That's what I always tell them. And I said, but you gotta have a little bit of meanness. You gotta have a little nastiness. You gotta have a little swagger.
Just turn the flip. Light switch.
I like the fact that sometimes it requires somebody getting after you a little bit to flip that switch to be a little bit nasty every now and again. And I'm not talking about illegal or anything. Right. But you got to have a little grit about you.
Yes, you do. And I've said many times, sometimes the big boys, they're not self-starters sometimes, so they need somebody to start them up a little bit. And and that's just how it is.
So many of them, they've always probably been big.
Yeah.
So, and when they were 8, 9 years old, their mamas always told them, "Well, don't be too rough. Don't hurt little Johnny. You're so much bigger than he is."
Yeah.
Well, then they've got to get that out of their mind, because we want them to. I mean, not injure nobody, but we want them to wear people out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the good thing, Coach, is 4 of those 5 that are starting because they're young, get them back again next year. Well, we're actually going to get all 5 of them back.
Yeah, we get them all, plus some other younger ones that are pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, that's going to do it for us.
All right.
Appreciate you bringing some guests with us tonight, and more coming next week, I believe.
Yeah, I think Dr. Reeves is going to be coming next week. Yeah, our superintendent. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, Coach, good luck to you Friday night.
Thank you, sir.
All right, join us every Tuesday right here, Local Joes, downtown Albertville, from 6 to 7 for the Coach Bert Browne Show here on Power 107.5.
We're here to spread some light so that God can be as close as your shadow.
Power 107.5 FM.